Morning guys, so another lovely day on Highfield Road. So yesterday I was given the opportunity to speak on BBC Northampton radio regarding the care home. The group rather is up for a prestigious award. So I got like a 6.5 minute segment where I was asked questions. So I'll let you listen to it first, and then I'll do some feedback on what I said and go more in depth into a few of the things that I mentioned. And yeah, it was good to be on the radio. And Daisy, bless her, was a lovely lady. So here's the clip, and I'll see you in a minute.
Now, care homes have been under the spotlight in recent years, haven't they? Especially, I suppose, going through COVID. But anyone looking for somewhere for a family member to move to wants that place to be a home from home, don't they? So this morning we thought we'd just go behind the scenes at one. Daisy Bell is in Kettering for us, at one that is doing pretty well.
Yes, I'm at Gabriel Court here in Kettering, who are up for a very prestigious and national award. The group that runs them, ACI, are up for the award, and yes, this comes under it. And after talking to some of the people here, you can see exactly why they're up for a fantastic award as well, because the people that work here really are passionate about what they do. Some wonderful carers here, and we will also later in the show be talking to some of the residents, which I'm really excited about too. But first, I'm currently joined by Dale Knighton, someone very much involved with our local community anyway. So some may have kind of been involved with him across our local food banks and things, but he's a care worker here. How long have you been here now?
Just coming up for 2 years. So it was May 2021. Big career swap from 17 years in hospitality. It was post-COVID hospitality. There was a lot of redundancies, a lot of fears of whether business would last. So it was looking for something to combine with everything I do with the community with a bit of a job guarantee. We're going to be around, the care homes aren't going to close, and it was giving something back, which I've been doing when I was furloughed through lockdown. So it was combining the two, job satisfaction and care, and really giving back to people that need help.
And job satisfaction is really number one now, isn't it? I think people forget that if we're going to have to do it for the rest of our life, it needs to be something that we enjoy. And I can tell just by talking to you off air as well that this really is something that you just love doing. You love helping people.
Yeah, so my official job title is activities, but I prefer to think of myself as professional friend. So I'm not just here for the residents, I know a lot of the family, and I bridge that gap. For families that can't come in, I do video calls. ACI have been really good at facilitating me with a tablet so we can do Zoom calls. So even if there's a situation where a resident can't be available here or a family can't come in, there's always communication, and it's keeping those relationships open. And I'm here to bridge that gap. I'm not just here to do bingo, a bit of drawing. There are some guys here that just like to talk, and we'll do basic things like you guys and read books together. Anything we can do to pass the time and make things a little bit more normal.
What do you think it is that makes Gabriel Court stand out amongst potentially other care homes?
I think being part of a small group helps. If there's any decisions need to be made, they're very approachable. The guys at ACI, though they're not sort of based in the home as such, we've got our own management team. I can reach anyone I need to, they're always answering email. I have phone numbers, and I think that's important in a business, that you have access to the owners and, regional directors. There's no sort of delay in the communication. Being such a small group, we can act immediately. Just this year, we've brought in digital paperwork instead of physical paper, speeds up the process, and I was very much involved in implementing that with the staff. Back in October. It's those sort of decisions that we can make quickly to make the care here a lot better. So we've got more time on the floor rather than in an office with a pen and paper.
Yeah, you mentioned it's those close relationships. You've got the director of ACI sat right next to us here, Ravi, who we heard from earlier, and you said it's those close links that make things happen here. And also the close relationships that you have with the people, the other care workers too. You say you're a really close bunch.
Yeah, we're like a little family, and it's the same with the residents. We're not we're not a workforce. We really are a family. We've got each other's backs. As you mentioned, I do a lot for the community, and these guys know that. And I've had a lot of support from the staff, and the ACI guys have been really great, encouraging me to carry on. So when I'm not here, I do a food bank, as you mentioned, and loads of community projects. And it's just, we're a little group. We all support each other. There are so many people here. We've got people that do crafts, people that are bloggers, and it just gels together. We're our own little community, and it's exciting for the residents. Some of them perhaps don't know what social media is, but because we have access to this tablet, we've opened up their world a bit. And when I told them I'm a YouTuber, it's bridging that generation gap as well.
Yeah, getting TikTok out for them, that is another world, isn't it? It's so funny. The strain on the industry, let's just talk about that. With COVID coming into place, well, a few years ago, everything that happened, you know, there has been a real strain on care workers, people in this kind of industry. How has it been for you?
I came in 2021, so after the first lockdown, but obviously COVID was still with us. As much as it's been a strain, it's been safe in care. We've had the PPE when I came in, it was at the right time, we were testing. And like I said, I came in from hospitality, and at that point, hospitality had become more of a high-risk job. There wasn't so much protection. So coming into care for me wasn't just about giving back, it was about safety in general. And it has been stressful. The PPE is not the most comfortable to wear, but you're safe, and you know you're doing your best. There's always going to be an argument that, you know, with nurses and their wages should be on a level. But in care, you're here to care. If you don't care, you're not in the right job. Money is secondary. But as I say, the strains are far outweighed by the good you're doing. Just to come in, see a resident, talk to their family, put a smile on their face, makes it worth it. You kind of forget the strains. With any job, there's good and bad, but the good far outweighs anything that is negative.
Well, how lovely. Dale Knighton there, professional friend, I'm going to call him here at Gabriel Court. You can just tell the kind of care that the residents get here. I need to say no more. However, we will be talking to one of the residents shortly, I believe, later in the show. And I believe he might be a little bit of a fan of you, Annabelle, so that'll be fun.
Oh, gosh. Well, I loved it. I mean, there's another person that we want to look after us, don't we? How lovely. The great people there at Gabriel Court. Right, Daisy, back with you later.
So, as you heard, one of the first things on the address is when I said about carers' wages, there's an argument for us being on the same level as nurses. While I get there's anger over wages, and you know, there's been strikes with ambulance nurses, things like that. If you don't care about people and it's all about money, maybe you're in the wrong profession. Especially in, you know, relation to wages I've got. It's fair, but I'm not going to get rich off of it. But I do the job because I generally care. Can you imagine the uproar if we went on strike, just walked out, formed a picket line and left the residents on their own? For each person that died or got injured, I'd expect to be held accountable. And I think the same with the nurses and the ambulance. If you're not in it to care and you are in it for the money and you want to strike, you need to be held accountable for each call you don't make, each person that you don't visit and gets ill. I think you need to be accountable. I'm not saying they don't deserve the pay rise, don't get that wrong, but if the money is your primary concern, then I think maybe look for a job in a different sector. As I said, you can't be a carer and not care. And the other thing I want to address is when I said about hospitality being dangerous, because it really was. My experience with it was, as soon as we were able to take people in, like the Eat Out to Help Out, we were dealing with staff still furloughed. Not many people brought back, but maximum bookings. People were going mad to get out into restaurants, hotels, and it wasn't fair on the staff. And who was checking, you know, the COVID app at the time, you know, COVID passes? No one, because it was that busy. You know, people just wanted bums in seats, quick turnaround and out. Yeah, in some instances we'll booking, but even the bookings were massive bookings. At least that was my experience of it. It got to the point where it wasn't safe. People were scared to say, hey, I've got COVID, and take the time off. They were to get furloughed or made redundant. And there was a lot of that, a lot of redundancies, a lot of things like that. You know, hospitality wasn't a guaranteed job at that point. Luckily, things are a bit more stable now. So yeah, they're the 2 points I wanted to address, because I didn't really get time to go in depth on them in there, and it was based on the success of the ACI group. I still firmly believe that I am more of a professional friend. I do make that sort of bridge between the residents and their families. So I hope this explains a bit more my train of thought while we're in there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the nurses, you know, and the job they do is amazing. But for me, you take a job knowing the wage, and I wouldn't dream of striking in the job I'm in. You know, you're playing with people's lives. So it's not a pop, it is what it is, you know. People make different decisions. I don't hold that against anyone. We're all individuals, and good luck to them. But yeah, that was my take on it. So guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.